Have you ever thought nothing is technically wrong, but something just doesn't feel right in your marriage? You're functioning, you're showing up, you're not in crisis, but the closeness feels thinner, quieter, and harder to reach. And in this episode, we're talking about why marriages drift emotionally even without conflict or betrayal or big problems before distance becomes normal. So stay with us because what feels vague is often specific once you know where to look.
That's great.
If you've ever found yourself thinking, why do we keep having the same argument? Or why does connection feel harder than it used to? You're not alone. Welcome to Marriage, Intimacy and Healing with Andrew and Lara.
We're a husband and wife team, blending science-based coaching and clinical nervous system insight to help couples understand what's really happening underneath conflict, distance, and emotional shutdown.
I'm Lara. I'm an ICF PCC-certified coach and educator.
And I'm Andrew, a licensed physical therapist specializing in body, mind, heart integration with extensive experience helping high-performing individuals navigate stress, communication, and emotional regulation.
Together, we help you recognize the patterns that pull you apart and offer practical, grounded shifts that bring you back into connection. Let's dive into today's episode. One of our basic human desires is to be seen, and yet through the pressure of life, through just parenting and paying bills and working and going through the motions, our body can prioritize survival mode and not connection. It can almost be secret because you don't necessarily know that that's what's happening. For example, Andrew may be, and this has happened like this morning, focusing on paying bills or organizing something for work, which can read as I don't want to connect and I'm not interested in the family or I'm working too much, but there's something else going on.
It's more the need to provide for my family, the need to get ahead of things. I know my week is going to be way crazier without a little bit of time right now. So there's a good nature to it, and there's a really great motivation. That's a really great nature as me, as the dad of home, to have those qualities, to plan, to get ahead, and to have a mind how to best provide for my family.
Yeah.
And get ahead of all those things. But it can read as something different.
Yeah, and really what's happening for Andrew's nervous system, and the reason we share this is so many of you can relate, whether it's your husband, and we know there are outliers that it's not everybody's going to relate because in some homes we recognize the woman might be the one as the main breadwinner. So we often speak to the majority statistically. So when I say this, please know that it's fine to be out of the box, totally acceptable. But Andrew, for example's body is doing something very, very natural. He is prioritizing survival mode in a really busy season in our life. Survival mode for him is, I want to connect, I want to be there with you, but I want to provide, I need to provide for my family. And it looks like something different. And this is why we want to talk about this. For a woman, it might be something else. It might be like me, very task orientated. And instead of sitting and connecting at the table after dinner, I might get up and do a million jobs and put things away and make school lunches and make sure things are prepped and ready for the next day. What am I doing? I'm actually prioritizing through the survival mode instinct in my body to function because I'm worried everything will fall apart if I don't. Who will do it if I don't do it? And our body naturally does this. Our body naturally prioritizes things in the survival mode, and we just don't always see it. So this can cause a lot of conflict. So it might look like for you just saying, we're fine. Everything's fine when we're just not really connected and you don't know why. Or it might be no drama, no blow-ups, just emotional flatness, which can lead to massive disappointment if it's left unchecked for many years.
When you're in survival mode or you're just getting a lot done, you have a lot of big responsibilities to achieve, that puts you with less emotional availability. I talk to a lot of friends and I'll often ask, how are you guys going? And their response is, oh yeah, we're good. We're really busy, or we're just busy. And that really implies that, there's a lot going on for both of you. And maybe the sense of connectedness or whatever else is different to normal.
And so what can happen is that emotional safety erodes when there's no responsiveness. So what that looks like is if I'm reaching out for connection or to be seen, which is my basic psychological human design need, and I'm not really getting a response, or your child might be reaching out to you for connection, come sit next to you, and you get up because you've got billions of things to do, and they don't get the response. What actually happens is that a sense of emotional safety starts to erode. So the drift in your marriage often comes from chronic busyness that you don't even realize that is the way you're functioning in that survival mode. That drift can come from fatigue and just feeling like I don't have anything left. I'm at capacity. I'm at my max. And emotional postponement, which means I'll get to it later. I'll connect later. We'll do it tonight after the kids are in bed. Or this can even affect your sex life because you might go later on, I haven't got the bandwidth, I haven't got time. And so your connection is not the priority, and it slowly erodes that sense of safety, that sense of intimacy, that sense of feeling seen, and that sense of identity.
Imagine it like this. If I get hit, then my body starts to respond. I feel pain and I feel these things. If I get a whole sense of not being seen, or if I have a lack of being seen around me, or getting a validation at work, a validation at home, then I will literally go through a process where my body feels that. So it's something that we underplay in our society, I think. I mean, underplay in our Western thinking, I think. And we just get on with work and we get busier.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit why we get so busy. It's a basic human need, and our body will feel in threat mode when we're not getting enough of it. Our system's going to be in overload. It's going to go into efficiency. It's going to go into fight or flight because we're trying to get things done. But we will feel enhancement of that when we're not just getting enough of that being seen, that validation, that identity that we receive from each other.
Yeah, and we give each other identity. We often hear that. It's like, know who you are, know your identity, all those things before you get married. But the science of identity is that we give each other that, and we receive that from each other, and the way, and our functions in life and our roles. And so being a mother gives me a sense of identity. Being a wife gives me a sense of identity. But if I'm not getting that sense through connection, then it starts to erode those parts of myself that feel, because I don't feel seen in those things. So drift isn't failure in your marriage. It's not failure at all. It's often unattended connection. It's those bids for connection that go unnoticed or missed over and over again. And your nervous system over time will read that as, okay, stop trying, don't bother. There's nothing here for you.
Yeah. So I talked about the fight or flight nature in our body. We'll go into that because of these basic needs, and we'll be in that place. And don't forget that if at work you're getting a little lack of identity given to you, you're getting a lack of being appreciated and whatnot, that doesn't always throw itself out into your marriage, but it does affect you, and it will build up in your life. So your emotional range grows narrower because you're getting into more and more survival mode. You look, your stress responses, or how much your body's in this place, can be misinterpreted as disinterest. And you might just react a little less, or I might not check in with Lara as much through the day because I'm getting a lot done, and my range for that, my space for that is less.
And what's so interesting is that this week, this really viral reel popped up on our Andrew and Lara Instagram. If you're not following it, by the way, head to Andrew and Lara on Instagram. But this gorgeous older lady who looked like seriously 96 years old and has had a beautiful marriage. And the advice that she gave to others was that when you first were with your husband, when you were courting, she said, because the words from her, Jen.
I love that. I used that word when I was young, courting my wife.
When you were courting, you would say to your husband, well, he wasn't your husband, but you would say how wonderful he was. You would build him up with your words. You would see him. You are giving him identity. You are praising him. And then you get married, and slowly over time you stop giving your husband, and this goes both ways, but for the sake of the story, you stopped building him up, and you wonder why he's just sitting on the couch disconnected from you, not actually engaging in the same way. And she's saying, actually, look, when's the last time you gave him? And she didn't say it in these words, but what she meant was, when's the last time you praised him like you did? Because that that praise actually motivated him towards the things that you actually want. The connection actually brings motivation to your marriage to show up for each other when you feel seen. That disconnection can be, what's the point? It's not always, but often is, what's the point? I don't feel seen. Nobody notices. Who cares? And it can create that flat, disengaged husband. So I thought it was so powerful. And of course, this can go both ways. Yeah. So if you are wondering, and after watching that, Andrew doesn't even know this. I didn't even tell you. I actually went to the kitchen and I went, I see you. I love you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the extra. When my daughter forgot her drink bottle, this week Andrew went and got a bottle of water, wrote a little note on it, and dropped it off at the school. Immediately after drop off, my daughter was like, man, that meant so much to me, Mom. I feel so loved. I'm like, you have to tell Dad that, because that was a massive thing to do. Now, I know some of you, your nervous system instantly went into, oh, well, I would just teach my daughter, if you forget your drink bottle, then too bad, you just go without. Well, you know what? This is a A+, high achieving daughter student who doesn't usually do that. So even Andrew forgets his drink bottle sometimes. Yeah. So, you know, it's context. So he did that. And it's that thing of showing each other that you've seen, that little thing you did, it matters. And it's a massive motivator, isn't it? So beautiful. Yeah. So one of the things you can do to help check in and repair this is asking the question, are we okay right now? Or just busy? Are we okay right now? Or are we just busy? And actually look at each other, because eye contact goes and in the erosion of all of this. And why this question works is that it interrupts drift before it becomes distance. This is so common, I'd even say normal, but it doesn't have to be this way. Look at each other in the eye. Head to andrewandlara.com. You can get the BMH 3-minute marriage shift. It's a simple way to be able to look each other in the eye, connect again physically. We're not talking about sex, just a hand on the back or holding hands, and ask each other something, connect, show each other that identity.
So this is another great one. It's a 2-minute presence reset. Check in with each other. So it's just grabbing each other and saying, hey, where are we at? How are you doing? And that can be intentional to say, check in with your body. Oh, gee, I'm feeling tight in my chest. I've had so much to do today. I feel bad. I haven't even really checked in with you and how things are going with the kids. It's all too much. Now, the big thing, it's not problem solving. So it's not trying to solve the big thing, because that can be hard. When she's checking in with me, I can feel overwhelmed because I've got all these things to solve at work. I've got these things to solve with bills or all the things of my life, right? Or I've got this thing I want to share with her to tackle and I don't know how to do it. That's a friend of mine I'm thinking about with his relationship at the moment. Yeah. But if it's all too much, it's overwhelming. And that is not the place to in 2 minutes, problem solve the whole thing. Yeah. But it can just be that, like, I'm feeling overwhelmed about this, or I'm feeling tense in my body, and that can be so presence giving, so
identity giving.
Yeah. And then you can just check in with each other, and I just know something more about her, where she's at. It gives context to what's happened that day, and it's powerful.
And it rebuilds that safety through consistency, and it stops that drift before it becomes distance. So the hope here is that you don't need a crisis to care. You don't need a date night to care. So I want to ask you with this is, where have you been surviving in your marriage instead of relating? Because push comes to shove. At the end of our days, when we look back, it's not all the survival things, it's the connection that will actually be the thing we think about. That's statistically proven, that when we look back, it is all about the connections and the relationships. Who's with us on the journey? Who have we pushed away through our constant survival mode? It is hard. In the US in particular, I mean, we've been in hustle culture for a while, but coming from another culture, coming here, we know this is hard and we know this is needed. Where have we been surviving instead of relating? Ask yourself that this week. And don't forget to subscribe and share this with a friend so you don't miss an episode, and so you can help others who you know need the extra support. And if work like this is meaningful to you and you like to give fully tax deductibly, you can go to creativerestorationinternational.com and consider financially supporting this work and the work we do at andrewandlara.com.
Thank you, friends. And we hope this episode brings us closer to not just surviving, but thriving and having a better quality of life, and seeing how these issues we're talking about can just make our life so much richer, not just surviving.
Thanks for joining us on today's Marriage, Intimacy and Healing. If this episode supported you, we'd love for you to download our free 3-minute BMH marriage reset at andrewandlara.com. It's the quickest way to shift out of stress and back into connection. And for deeper support and to explore our resources and coaching, you can find everything at andrewandlara.com.
Before you go, following the show or sharing this episode with another couple really helps more people find this kind of support. And we're so grateful when you do.
We're Andrew and Lara, and we'll see you next week.